Spiritual development is a progressive path, and this means that we go deeper into ourselves, deeper into reality, deeper into consciousness. So it is natural to want to go deeper. So we're going to look together what deeper means experientially and also how you can go about doing this for yourself. So deeper suggests that there is a depth of field to our experience, and we can be more superficially or shallow in our experience, or we can relax deeper into the depth of our experience. And this is what spiritual practice is all about navigating this depth of field. And it exists in kind of two primary dimensions. First, I can sink more deeply into my body, but also connected to this is this depth of field. Really simply, there are many layers, there are many very specific layers, but I name this as the physical world. There's the world of energy and connection and love, guided by love. There are the dimensions of light, the process of incarnating, and all of the higher light-based dimensions. And finally, awareness, the most subtle experience, and beyond that, the transcendent or absolute reality. So this exists as a kind of depth of field that we learn to navigate, sink into, as we ultimately make our journey back to the absolute reality, the source of our experience. So there are three ways in this video that we're going to talk about how you can navigate this depth of field, discovering these for yourself, returning to them, and using them as the platform or the base to go even deeper. And the first way that you can do this is through a pure relaxation practice. So this means I learn just to relax first down vertically in my body. I learn to relax through all of the layers of experience. I'm headed towards the ground. So often our attention is in our heads. Embodiment is very shallow, or we have a very small window of embodiment. But over time, I learned to bring my attention more down into my body, feeling not just my thoughts in my head, my throat and my heart and my gut. And over time, I learned to be grounded in my body vertically. So as I go deeper into my body, I gain access to more subtlety. At the same time, as I'm going deeper in my body, as I'm sinking vertically, I'm also moving through the layers of sensation, emotion, all the stored energy that I carry in my body. And by doing so, I'm relaxing deeper into the depth of field of myself. First, I encounter my sensations, and then I encounter the emotions and other forms of subtle energy that I have present. And as these move and make more and more space, I encounter the dimensions of light, or the embodied experience of light as well. And eventually, I encounter the subtlety of awareness. So we can do this can happen as a product of sinking deeper into our body. As we do this, we also become more subtly attuned to these layers like energy and light and spaciousness that exist in the depth of field in our body. So as we sink down in our body in our relaxation practice, we're also learning to listen and attune to the subtle qualities of experience. And so over time, my relaxation practice, which primarily will occur in meditation, I just sink deeper and deeper. And every wave of energy or content that moves through me allows me to sink even deeper in myself. And so it's absolutely possible, that through a pure relaxation practice, I can just go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, ultimately resting into the source of my experience, the absolute reality. Now, the second thing that we can do when we want to go deeper is we can use self-inquiry. Now, self-inquiry is formed around the question, who am I? Who am I? So, yes, my name is Blaze, but experientially, what is the nature of the identity in this experience? So when I hold this question, what I learn to do is witness the content of my experience. I witness my thoughts, I witness my feelings, I witness my sensations, but I keep inquiring, where do they come from? What is the source of the experience that I'm having? And I learn to retract, to relax my focus through all of the content of my experience back towards the source. Now, this too can be a progressive journey, meaning the more that I relax about the content, because it's not my identity, it's just something that I'm experiencing, the more that I relax about the content that I'm perceiving, the more I'm drawing myself back to the source of my experience, the place that I'm witnessing from, which again is absolute reality. So this can happen very quick. There can be very deep insights or profound insights into the nature of reality. Most likely they won't be stable, but it's a way to go very deep very quickly. But whether you have a profound insight immediately or whether you progressively discover deeper truth through your self-inquiry practice, the most important element of this is a consistent curiosity that drives you. What makes this practice particularly appropriate is that you want to do it intrinsically. It's not a labor that you apply to yourself, but a deep curiosity. So when we have this deep curiosity, we are learning to pay attention to what is happening, but really to de-emphasize the foreground of our experience and become really heightened and attentive to the background, the source, the place ultimately where you are witnessing your experience from. And again, I name this as the absolute or transcendent reality. This will take you deeper, sometimes quickly, but definitely as well progressively. Now, the third way you can go more deeply into your practice is by actively, intentionally focusing on some of these deeper layers in consciousness that I described. And this is what I actually, as a teacher with the people who work with me, my students, this is what we spend most of our time doing, especially in relational practice. So what does this look like? Well, it could look like, a very common way is that a teacher tells you about these other layers of experience, and you learn to tune into them directly because you are listening to the prompts or the teachings of your teacher. A very prominent way to do this is teachers will describe awareness, the spacious awareness that lies very deep in the depth of field, this foundational quality of presence of being, of consciousness. So when the teacher talks awareness or directs you towards awareness, they're helping you have a focused experience where your attention is specifically focused on this layer of reality. And over time, when you spend time there and when relational experiences or teacher's voice or a particular practice holds your attention there, it comes continually more and more into focus. So instead of just relaxing through all these layers, an awareness-based practice or a light-based practice or a love-based practice, a heart-based practice, means that we shift our focus specifically to one quality of consciousness. And because this is something that we are discovering, this is something that is new to us, it's often guided by a teacher or someone else who lives there consistently and who can relate to you and facilitate your exploration. Now, in my community, I do this with people all the time, but a lot of the practices that we do relationally are focused on these deeper layers because we take on these relational processes within consciousness. So what does that mean? Well, when we relate together, I relate to my students, but my students also relate to each other, and they learn to talk about their lives, both in the present tense, but also recognizing their whole life history. They learn to talk about their lives and feel and relate in a deeper level. So which means when I talk about my children or my parents or my grandparents, I sink deeper into myself, discover the feelings and sensations and all the experiences, the subtle experiences that are present here. So when we have relational experiences, when my students and I, when we talk about our lives, we do so in increasingly deeper places. We learn to talk about the dimensions of consciousness that are relational and energetic, and we learn to talk about and talk from dimensions of consciousness that are light-based. Tremendous benefit of this is because life is by nature relational, the experience of us connecting on any of these subtle qualities of consciousness helps hold us there. And because consciousness and life is ultimately relational, there is a natural flow of experience that draws us in together, that has us deeply absorbed in these deeper layers without having to work very hard. It's, for me, consciousness and connection go extremely well together. When we relate together, we naturally sink deeper into these layers. And as we are tuned in together, there's tremendous power that accelerates our access to ourselves and to life. So these are the three practices that I really emphasize in my teachings. The third one is the relational practices that I teach take up most of my time. But all three things I teach about. If you're interested in knowing more, you can watch some of the guided meditations that I run on this channel. Those will help you focus on qualities of consciousness in your personal practice. I also have guided meditations on the pure process of relaxation that help you sink deeper naturally, both into your body, into this depth of field. And I run events, both free and courses, all with people all over the world, where we learn the relational practice that helps us together to go deeper and explore the content of our lives, the structure of our consciousness as a relational experience. So I hope that helps. As always, in the description below, there's a link if you're interested in learning more about the programs that I run. And again, there are many other meditations on this channel. That's all for now.